Acquired needs theory is one of those motivation theories that really refers to what is it inside of each of us that motivates us. Some of the other theories we talked about, like equity theory, like expectancy theory, like goal setting theory, talk about processes outside of us, but acquired needs theory focuses on what inside of us is important to consider when we think about motivation. And this theory says there are three different components of internal factors that drive our motivation. And each of these three things reflect needs that all of us have. The first need is the need for achievement. I don't know if you've ever recently had a large achievement, whether academically or personally or career-wise, but sometimes when you achieve something, it is refreshing, it's energizing, it's motivating, it helps you feel very self-satisfied, it gives you a feeling of accomplishment. And so the one need that we all have, according to this theory, is the need for achievement. We all want to excel, we all want to overcome obstacles, we all want to effectively compete with others in the right way, in the right spirit, and achieve something. So the need for achievement is something that motivates us. If you are a manager and you think that some of your employees are motivated by achievement, what do you think would be logical for you to do? Well, it would be logical for you to set up a challenging goal. Remember from the lecture about goal setting, you would likely set up a challenging goal. You would set up a reward that has high valence. Remember that term from expectancy theory, meaning a reward that team members are happy and happy with, they want to receive. And you would give them feedback along the way on their goal, but you would motivate them by their ability to achieve something. A student in this class who I know might be motivated by the need for achievement, I might set a very high goal and I might give them feedback periodically, but I would appeal to their need to feel good about themselves when they excel at something. The second need that we have, according to this theory, is the need for affiliation. And this is the need to maintain social relationships, to be part of a group, to be part of a team, to have friends, to be liked, to feel like we're included. And sometimes this alone is worth knowing as a way to help motivate people who are on your team. So for example, I remember the first time that I was made a manager at a young age at one of the companies that I worked for. One of the ways that my manager motivated me is he reminded me that now that I'm a fellow manager, I'm going to be invited to the senior management meeting every week. I'm going to be included in this sort of a very important session, decision-making session that happens, I think it was every Wednesday. But just feeling that I'm affiliated with people who are similar to me and sometimes very different from me as well, but feeling that I'm included in this group of diverse people, diverse ways of thinking, but we all share that common bond, which is the senior management team. That alone was enough to give me some positive motivation that I was on the right track and some positive motivation to do well at my job. Another way of building affiliation is giving praise in the right way, right? So if an employee does a good job, making sure that you praise them in the right way. And it's important to know which employees of yours like to be praised publicly and which like to be praised privately. This is also a mistake that some people make. They assume that everyone has the need to be praised publicly. In reality, some of us prefer private praise. It might be less embarrassing for us if we're praised privately. So again, this goes back to that concept of valence, right? Knowing what type of reward your employee likes. If someone likes public praise, great. If they like private praise, then don't give them public praise, right? But that need for affiliation is that need to feel belonging, that need to feel part of something, that need to feel part of a team or a social fabric. And then the last need that this theory says we have is the need for power at a certain extent. Power does not necessarily have to be something negative or something domineering, but this theory says that all of us at a certain level do have, for some of us at least, have a need for power. And that power means that sometimes we like to make decisions. We like to be in control. We like to call the shots. We like being able to decide things, right? So the need for power is also something that a manager can keep in mind when they're motivating people. And power does not necessarily have to be, as I said, this very top-down sort of a construct. We're going to spend a whole lecture on power in the future, but suffice it to say for now that there are certain concepts of power that are hard and other concepts of power that are considered soft. One example of soft power is something that my boss many years ago used to motivate me when I was coming up the management curve. In fact, one of the most empowering things that I think someone can do for someone is to make them a mentor, or to make them a teacher, or to use them as an example, or to use them as a coach. So when my manager told me that she thought I would be a very good candidate as a mentor for some of the new employees coming into the company, or someone who would be a good coach for the younger employees coming in who were learning the ropes, so to speak, my manager was appealing to my sense of power. It gives me a sense of power when somebody recommends me as a coach or a teacher or a mentor. So understanding that need that some of us have for power, again, not necessarily top-down power, but the feeling that we're making a difference, the feeling that we're powerful, the feeling that we know something more than someone else and can teach them. Those are other ways of appealing to power. And for some of us, that type of motivation, that type of encouragement can be highly rewarding because it can keep us focused on our goals and motivate us to continue working and doing a good job.